Good morning. Good morning. Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Crist here from the Jaguar Den in Costa Rica. It is so nice to be here with you guys this morning. We woke up in our new place here in paradise in Costa Rica. We are approaching 2 years of being here, and one of the beautiful things that we really just wake up and talk about every morning, just about every morning, is the earthquakes. What we talk about is the magic of life, and being in yoga and working closely with the shamans for over 15 years now, being an apprentice of 3 amazing shamans, Don Manuel, Don Juana, Don Sebastian. There's more than 3. They're so close to me, and Don Francisco. One of the things that I've learned was that in my culture, in my head, I had not, in my language, in the language I think in, and that was Greek, English, now Spanish, is like what I had before I met them. What I didn't have was the understanding of magic of life. Magic in life is everywhere, and it is just such a beautiful, amazing reality. Once you get a grasp of it, once you realize it, it is just unbelievable, because it's exactly that. It's magic. It's magical. It feels like it's out of the realm of normal. And I think that this gift that I have received from the shamans of understanding magic is something that we all need. So if you're finding yourself struggling somewhere, if you're somewhere and you're struggling, take a moment and notice. And as you notice that, I invite you, take a moment and feel into it. Is there something you're struggling with? Is there something that's making you feel pain? Something that's making you feel anger? Something that is making you feel frustrated? Something that's making you feel sad? Something that's making you feel, what is it that you are feeling now that is holding you back from magic, that might be holding you back from feeling that every breath is a gift of life? So I'm going to invite you to feel into that just for a second. Feel what might be holding you back, essentially, from the magic of life. I felt this in my entire life. And I'm going to say this because this is so important to feel into, to realize what is holding us back from magic. What is holding you back from being the full expression of yourself? Full expression of your whole self. What is holding you back from feeling that you are fulfilling your potential? And usually what we feel that is holding us back from fulfilling our potential, really reaching our full potential, is these other things and other people and other circumstances. And this is where the key is, and this is where the key to happiness, to living in magic, to living a life that you're connected to, like we're always connected, but how about living a life where you're feeling you're connected to the universe? So that person, the circumstance, the situation, the moment that holds us back is absolutely, at least it was for me, the restriction, the thought, the reaction to the decisions that I had made. that this situation hurts me. That person I'm involved with is hurting me. It feels like they're not loving me, or the situation of my job is not fulfilling, but I have to be there. So there is this paradigm that we have in the Western world. And this paradigm that we live in the Western world essentially is a paradigm of exactly that. We have been suppressed as a species, as a culture, since the Dark Ages. I won't go further back. The suppression goes way, way back. But there is also suppression in that, like, essence of the Dark Ages, where in the Dark Ages, the government and church had this tremendous power. It's like the Spanish Inquisition is representing the church, Christ, and God. And as they're representing this, they're saying, well, you will be damned by God, by Christ, if you have anything to do with magic. So imagine this, imagine finding a 5-year-old kid, 6-year-old kid that's playing, and there's like the whole day is in front of this kid's life, and the kid has boogie boards ready to go in the ocean right down there. It has balls to play with. It has a couple Labradors and cats to play with, a couple horses. Imagine a life that there's birds all around this kid. Imagine a life that there's a beautiful, lush jungle around this child. There's rivers, there's roosters in the morning. There's everything. There's all the magic. And then some grown-up comes and says, you better be careful. You better not dream. You better not feel that everything is here for you, because this might not be. And if you feel that you're magic and that everything is here for you, we'll take it away from you. We'll actually put you to the fire. So this reminds me of a story a dear friend of mine shared with me. Thanos in Greece. Yasu Thano, if you can hear me. If you're there today. His mom had a chicken coop in the back of the house. This was like just now, just 30 years ago. And one night, these dogs came into the yard and got in the chicken coop, and it was awful. It was a massacre. Like the dog just went at it. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 dogs, I didn't know, but killed like 6, 7 out of the 15 chickens, and the rest of the chickens, to survive, to make it, kind of like flew up and got on top of this fig tree that was over the chicken coop. This is, again, more than 20 years ago, this story, right? And I don't know how long a chicken lives, actually, to be honest. I have to look into it. Maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe less. Whatever it is, today, this chicken coop is still there. His mom still is really, really old. She still has chickens. And guess where the chickens sleep? Every night, every afternoon at dusk, they flutter up and they get on top of the fig tree, which is on top of the chicken coop. Outside, they're over the chicken coop, not inside the chicken coop. You know why? This is like maybe 70, 80 generations of chickens later. These are not the chickens that were attacked by a dog 20 years ago. Not by far. By far not. But there's an instinct that guards us, that helps us survive, and says that the wisdom of the ancient ones, of the ancestors, is passed down to us by DNA, a memory, of cellular memory of what's safe and what's not. So these chickens know that it's dangerous to sleep in the chicken coop. That's the fact of their life. So when we are, for 300, 400 years later, persecuted for loving magic, persecuted for honoring the feminine, we've been told that the other animals are beasts and they should be far away from us. Then we live a life that has no magic. When we live a life, and this is where the magic of life is, and I really, it's just like, like we always talk about. It's just like, should we talk about something that's really positive, and are there negative things? Was my anger 20 years ago, or my sadness, my feeling of being, what was a sensation I lived in that really drove me to cancer? A big part of what drove me to cancer. I felt that I was betrayal. Are all those sensations actually true? Or is there betrayal that's happened, maybe by the Spanish Inquisition, but by these other humans to humans, or were this narcissists and sociopaths that we related to that hurt us? Or was there a moment that there was hunger that still remains with us? Is this anger that I feel, or sadness that I feel, or betrayal that I feel? What else do you feel? Fill in the gap, that sensation that you feel. What is that might be you? What is it that you're feeling that might be holding you back? What is that sensation you wake up with? And that's the first thought that comes over as a cloud and says, no, Ray, you are not entitled to happiness today because da 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 da. That's your story. Happy Samhain to everyone. And chickens live about 5 years. So this is 4 generations later, or 5 generations later, that this happened. And still, thank you, Lisa, for letting me know. The chickens live about 5 years if they don't become dinner. But regardless, thank you for that. And happy Samhain. Thank you, Bridget. We love you. We miss you. Where are you, Bridget? Why aren't you here? We have a memory of being persecuted. And I just want to say this, that we're not persecuted anymore. There's no dogs. There's no Spanish Inquisition. And one could say, oh, yes, there is. The setup is that there is, but we could sit here and talk about what other people are doing or did to us that hurt us, or didn't do to us that hurt us. And what I realized is that, you know what, we're like in this body and in this trajectory that you have when you're given this body. And for the shamans, for the keros, what we say is you're giving this yachai munai yankai. You're given this. And what the keros say is Mother Earth and Father Sun have given us this gift. And this gift of yachai means great knowledge. Munai means great love. Absolutely total full acceptance. Love, accepting love. And Yankai means body. And I want to talk about Yankai meaning body. And it means energy, they call it. It means energy. The energy that animates this body, makes this body alive. What we call in martial arts chi, or ki, what we call in yoga prana, and actually shakti. I'll call it prana shakti, essentially. So we're given that energy, and that energy is ours to work with. Now, from deep in my heart, all the way till I come through my ojas, this energy out of my body to feel the world, from deep of my soul, through the windows of my soul, when I look outside to the world, from there to my eyes, and actually from my eyes, this first layer of my own luminous field, there's these memories that I've installed, that in theory I've installed for my protection. If I were to be a part of that kind of chickens and roosters, I have installed in me that the safest place to sleep and be and exist is the fig tree. And I will not go to the comfort, to where the food is, to where the water is, to where actual safety is, because they really actually fixed the chicken coop. It locks really well. It's awesome. If I suffered for 300 and 400 years, when I go back to my father, I have to go back to my grandfather, and then I have to go back to his grandfather and his grandfather, and I can quickly trace my DNA to the Europeans and to the ancient Greeks, I guess, in my case. But I still go back to the Europeans, and I go back to those ancestors of mine that were persecuted. If they honored the feminine, they were persecuted, and they believed and try to learn or befriend animals. God forbid. And I go and I trace back the DNA that had fear of having relationship with magic. And when I go back there, I realize why I feel anger. I am angry because there's so much magic around me that why are you taking it away? I am sad. These are the actual reasons. I'm sad because magic has been taken away from humanity. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm frustrated by those short-sighted. It's like Hafiz says, beware, my beloved one, Hafiz says, of those little men that created religions that want to take away from your magic. Beware of those little men. Hafiz says, we have not come here to take prisoners, but we have come here to surrender to our deep love, joy, and freedom. So I invite you today to tap into your magic, and I invite you today to fulfill another function of the DNA and of cells, the function of evolution. You know, our cells are born with a timer, and they have a certain amount of life, and they have a timer that turns them off. And the timer is adjusted by what's called mitochondria. And mitochondria lives within us. Mitochondria is this airborne thing that at some point entered into our body and humanity some hundreds of thousands of years ago, probably, or tens of thousands of years ago. And they live within the cells. And when the time is for the cell to die, the mitochondria make sure they kind of like essentially turn it off. And there's what it's called the phenomenon of apoptosis. Apoptosis. In Greek, apoptisi. Apoptosis is that fallen one, that falls. So that falls and gives life to a new cell. But when a cell dies and gives life to that new cell, before it dies, it whispers to its ear, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to remember. You're a cell that creates, you're an elbow cell, you're a nose cell. You kind of look like this. You're a brain cell, you kind of think like this. You're a heart cell, you kind of feel like this. And it keeps on relaying this information. And not only does it relay the information from my cell that dies and then my new cell is born. It's just, imagine that. It's so hard to really kind of like fit in our brain that this body at 57 years old has changed already fully more than 8 times. This is not the body I was living in 7 years ago. Every cell of this body, from bone to bone marrow, from DNA material to my eye cells, has changed. Welcome, Jesse. Thank you for congratulations on your new home in Las Vegas. I am talking to you. I am talking to you from my new home in beautiful San Juanillo. We moved from Nassau to San Juanillo. So imagine these cells and this DNA information that's handed down from generation to generation to generation. And I'm here to tell you this morning, and from my new home, telling Jessica in your new home, in her new home, telling everyone at their new home that you have a new home. The Spanish Inquisition, along with those dogs, is gone. Those dogs are not coming back. As deeply rooted as you feel, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure about it, Ray, and I can't take your word on it, because if I do take your word on it, those dogs will come and attack me. And that Spanish Inquisition and those men of government and church are going to come and take me and burn me to the fire. And I say, no, I say Saint Francis is with you. I say, hell no. Saint Francis says, wake up and every morning and rejoice and talk to all the animals and invite the birds to come and sit, invite the squirrels and invite the fox. I invite you to invite back into your life the whole animal kingdom. This paradise, it's like describing paradise. But then when you're not here, when you're not, you're going to be in this place where all the animals are going to be at your feet. You're going to be petting lions, and you have a lion in one hand and a lamb on the other, and birds are going to be flying above you. And then, only then, when you're dead, oh, and if you've been really good, according to these dogs, excuse me, not the dogs, to these men. So I feel like it's like, oh, it's Sunday, the magic of life, the magic of life. So I want to share the magic and and really kind of like, oh, it's Sunday morning, and I really want to spend the Sunday morning with you guys, just half an hour or whatever we spend together with something positive. I want you to look back today and say, yeah, that's a good fun, but really, really just kind of like, it was fun. It gave me a positive aspect of life. So this is what I'm here to do, not remind you the story of the dogs or the limited minds of little men that lived in the few past and still live today, and they're governing things and they're running things. It's like, and I don't even care. It's like, what conspiracy? There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. There's greed, and has always been. So those who were born in families are saying we're the greedy ones and the oppressors are the greedy ones and the oppressors. It's natural. The positive Sunday morning message is that life is only magic, and I honor your pain, and I honor your anger, and I know you are right to have it, and I know that what happened to you is. Thank you. I'm really happy. I'm really happy, Amanda. You feel that this is the best way to start a Saturday. Sunday. It's the best way to start any sunny day. So first of all, what I discovered when we started talking about my being, what Francisco started talking about is it's like, where do you live? And I have a new home I've rented, and Jesse has a new home, and I invite you to enter into a new home, this home, and say, you know what? I was right to be hurt, and I was so right to be angry. And it was really clear that frustration was like the only actual reaction that I could have, because these were with the realities that surrounded. That's what that person did. That's what the person said. That's what that situation created. And as you do so, then say, okay. Then say, now I can look beyond that, because the person that made you angry will never change. But your heart deserves love. Your heart deserves the magic. Your heart deserves for you to smile today. But it's like, there's a pandemic. There's always been pandemics. If we were the few ones in Europe and the United States and the richest place of the country, which were taking away all the resources from the rest of the world, the last 100 years especially, it's been 400 years, talking about colonialism. We've lived in the comfort of all other people's work. You know, when you go and buy the cheap shoes at Marshall's, it's like someone made them for $1. But in that too, don't go into feeling that it's our fault, but rather see through all this and say, I deserve the happiness. I deserve the magic, and feel into the magic, and know that whatever it is, you can burn it. You can let it go. Because magic is what creates every cell of your body. And you are so beautiful and so awesome and you are awesome and beautiful, and you know how you can know that? Because God, the divine energy, name any name you want for God, has decided that she wants you to be alive today. And today is a gift, and it's a magical gift. And I'll tell you what, 20 years ago, I was dying. No, they said, 18 years ago, they said, you have 3 months to live. I said, no, no, no. I scrambled. I did. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. No. A year later, I'm still alive. And I go to John Hopkins and say, oh, no, no, no. You're not going to survive. You can't live. This is like, no. I'm like, but can't we do anything? He said, yeah, you could just take care of your affairs. So for me, that anger that I had that was holding me back, that frustration, that feeling that I was betrayed, all those became small things because none of it mattered anymore. I was just going to die. And then I said, well, if I don't die, where do I want to live? Should I live in my anger about the incumbency in the inability of this person to behave nicely? Should I live in my betrayal because this person doesn't know how to love? Or do all these people that did this, or the circumstance that did this, were they outside of that situation where magic was not permitted, where love was not permitted, where animals were not permitted? So they all live in here. They all live in that state of panic. And they may grasp on me, or they grasp on you. And they're like, oh, I don't feel love. It's like, I'm going to make you feel not love. It doesn't matter. What matters is I'll tell you that this morning in this new home, I've received a gift. And guess what? You're watching, and thank you for being here and watching. This morning that you woke up, you have a gift of being able to open your laptop and say, hi, hey, Ray, how are you doing? What do you think about magic? And I'll tell you what I think about magic. I think that this morning is magic, and this morning is yours. And this morning is magic that's been given to you because you're awesome. And if you have pain, I understand it, because there's a lot of pain going around. But I can tell you one thing, that there is a way to step out of that pain. There is a way that you can have a new relationship with this pain. There is a place that you could put the anger somewhere else and not in front of you, because I don't want you living in this pain. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Lisa, especially deep pain from 13 years ago. Thank you for reminding me that these cells change and I'm not the same, that person that experienced it. Good morning. We all live in a new home. These cells are new. This morning is new. And the fact that we all woke up today means that we all received a new gift. And along with that free will that is given to us, and the ability to recognize change, and the wisdom, the knowledge, now that we know these cells change, I invite you to say that I will now step beyond what's holding me from being happy. I'm going to see beyond what made me angry, and I am going to thrive beyond any sort of betrayal. That betrayal does not belong to me. And that person that betrayed me betrayed themselves, betrayed their life. They betrayed their own selves. So I feel sorry for you, for those who betrayed us. And we move forward. So life is magic, and every sun ray that hits your skin and warms you is magic. Thank you, Teresa, and so many blessings to you, and so many blessings to you for the power that you have to overcome difficulty, to find your smile again. This is for you, Teresa. Yes, thank you for your morning song. Blessings to you. So there's this thing no one told us about, and I just wanted to let you know, because I found out magic is real. You are magic. You have the ability to make magic. And I'm going to say this. Think of something that you really, really would like. Try to make sure that it's not a more expensive car or a bigger house. But maybe it is. It's not about being a more, but maybe it is. You don't have a car and you'd like to have it. Maybe it is a home that you like to live so the environment really represents you. Maybe it is a beautiful day in nature. Whatever it is, set your beautiful mind on it, set your heart on it, meditate on it, love it, and bring it into existence. It is definitely time. It is definitely time for us. It goes like this. We're reading the Taoist texts, and the Taoist texts say that within the center of matter, mind exists. This is huge news, guys. Within the center of matter of that house that you would say, I wish to live in this house. Oh, I'm looking at this house. I would love to live in this house. Even if I can rent it for a year, I would like to live in this house. When you're thinking of that and looking at that without the fear, without the anger, without the resentment, without those emotions that are depleting your energy, that are putting a shadow, casting a shadow on your magic, when you look at that and you take away the depletion, when you take away the shadow and you say, that's what I want. I saw this house a year ago and I really, really liked it. And I really, really loved it. And we really, really made it come in through meditation to bring it forth. So set your goal, set your magic, burn anything that does not serve you. Magic is real in life, and it is really up to us to find that strength over our fear, find that strength over our pain, and invite it into our life. Magic in life is in every cell in our body. It's in every drop of water in the ocean. It's in the light casted by the moon and the sun. May it be through and through your whole day. Thank you for joining me for this Sunday morning. May your Sunday be blessed with the presence of God in all names and forms you want, all saints and avatars. May they be with you, all your power animals. May you be blessed by Mother Earth. May you be blessed with happiness and a laughter today. I'm sending lots of love to all of you, and thank you for being here. Next Sunday, or is it Sunday, November 7th, we're offering a despacio, a thank you, Mother Earth ceremony. So check it out on the website, and maybe we could put up here a link to it. Come to the despacio and see what it is that you are celebrating today. What are you celebrating this week? What are you celebrating this month? So here's the link to that. Whoa, there you go. There you go. 2 people put it up. Thank you, Amanda, for doing that, putting it up. So copy paste that link. Next Sunday, we're going to be offering a despacio ceremony. Thank you, Mother Earth, for all your gifts. And thank you guys for being here. May you have a blessed Sunday. Lots of love and happiness to all of you.